Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Finish Fans. In this Big Finish Fans, we're doing, I guess, a double live special. We're talking about the Stuff of Legend, the Big Finish's live show on a live stream. As ever, I am joined with Luke.
Yes, here we are talking all things the Stuff of Legend live, as it were.
Live. It's all works, doesn't it?
We're both alive as well.
Thankfully, we survived it.
Yeah,
No
I mean, I had a bit
Daleks.
of trouble getting home last night,
Yeah,
but I made it in the end.
He's here to tell the tale.
Yeah, I survived to fight another day. But yeah, we went to the matinee performance of the Stuff of Legend live. For those who don't know what that was, Big Finish put on a live show at Cadogan Hall, performing a special Eighth Doctor and Charlie Pollard audio drama, which also released on the same day for download and CD from bigfinish.com. So if you weren't able to attend live, you could still enjoy the experience. There were 4 showings. They're all over now, I think. Yeah,
near enough, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
the final Sunday one's probably just winding down, and then that's it. That's the Stuff of Legend over somewhat, but it lives on. They did record the live performances. I don't know quite how they're going to get those out in the world.
Yeah, but people have been saying it's possibly coming out in December. That's what Gallifrey Base is saying. But Gallifrey Base were too interested in where does this go in the chronology of Eight and Charlie, because as Charlie met the Daleks in Time of the Daleks, people were more interested in that than talking about the actual story. But we'll talk about the story.
I mean, I imagine she has. She didn't seem too surprised by their existence.
No.
Yeah. But I suppose, are there other factors there of like where things go after Time of the Daleks that mean there's no gap for it to reasonably fit in? I don't know.
Yes, yeah, with the Weather Time arc.
Yeah, I'm not as au fait enough with the Charlie Pollard early stuff. Yeah, I know usually they squeeze it in the gap between Series 1 and Series 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in quotation marks, they didn't quite call them series back then, but the 2001 run of stories and the 2002 run of stories is where most of the Charlie Pollard stuff fits, because it's just where that seems to be easiest.
Yeah, it's the easiest gap.
But I mean, yeah, so this was also our first time meeting up in person after 9 years of talking to each other online, whether it be here on this channel, back on the Whovian High Council with Matt and loads of other of our wonderful friends. Yeah, it was kind of a wild experience, but also it was weird seeing each other in person, but also weird just how quickly it wasn't weird.
Yeah. You sort of adjust very quickly. You just go, okay, and you just sort of pick off where things sort of left off, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And it was sort of a nice sort of celebration as well, because we've been listening to Big Finish for 10 years. So it felt like a nice little landmark occasion. Well, we've been listening to Big Finish 9 years. We do a lot of Big Finish content online. Let's do this and meet up for the first time as well.
Yeah, meet up for the first time and listen to a Big Finish together.
I mean, that's
more
perfect.
than just listen. It's a full-on experience.
Yeah, what an experience. Well, we'll get to that, because I think it's quite an interesting thing to unpack.
Yeah, we'll give people time to join us as well, because this is our first time going live in a little while. We've been
3 months.
We've been focusing a bit more on the pre-record content, getting all that out there as we can. But yeah, I suppose we were sort of getting to the point where everything just made more sense to do pre-record, and so we were looking for the right excuse to go live again.
Yes, we've got ideas for like live streams, but it's just try to fit it all in.
Yeah, and I think this works as the return of sorts.
Yeah, because we'll do a separate review of the story as well.
Yeah, I think we'll get the studio version listened to. We both got it. This has got to be the Big Finish story we spent the most money on.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. Yeah, definitely with the ticket price. Yeah, so definitely.
Wow.
Shall we say hello to some people
Yeah,
who
I
have
think it's
kindly taken their time out of their day to join us?
Yeah, thank you, all you wonderful people in the chat. Hooven Small Collection, welcome back. I just finished this. Perfect timing.
Hey,
wonderful.
It's like we knew.
We were read your mind. Daniel Hager, the Nottingham Forest fan. Hi, Ben, Luke, and Mel. How are the three of you doing tonight from a new Doctor Who writer? You got your book out, haven't you?
Yeah, congratulations.
And the stylish one who sadly was not able to join tonight. Hopefully you're enjoying this on
the replay.
On the replay. They're back. The one night I can't make it either. Well, enjoy the
Sorry.
stream. Please do another one. They have been missed. We will endeavour to do another one. We've got plans.
This wasn't
quite planned.
No, you were like 2 hours ago then. Should we do a live stream? And just like, let's go on then.
Yeah, because about a week ago I said, "Oh, what about Friday? We could go live and sort of build up that anticipation with everyone for the event." But sadly, you weren't available.
Yeah,
and for some reason, it only occurred to me today that why don't we just do it after?
Yeah, we'll do it here. We'll do it now.
Yeah.
And probably
then we can talk a bit more about it rather than what we're looking forward to. Hey, you okay? You alive? Said Hooven Small Collection.
We're very much alive.
Sam Asom says, "Oh shoot, we live." Yes, we are.
We are live. I hope we're live. I hope you're watching this and it is working.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had some technical difficulties behind the scenes, as is typical of us. It's always the way. We never quite go live on time, sadly, but we always do eventually. Most of the time.
I mean, we hope we make up for it with a lot of preamble and just have a good time, chill, chat, and talk about Doctor Who. Really,
certainly a more kickback stream. I mean, they're all pretty
easy viewing.
Hopefully so. That's for you all to judge. Please let us know if we are easy viewing, if we're stressing you out.
It's like, get to the point.
Click off.
Get on to the point.
Not to say, not to get rid of viewers, but life's too short to be stressed.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Maybe by talking about stress, we're stressing people out. Just the word stress.
I'm getting stressed because you're talking about stress.
Anyway, John says, "I saw them performing live last night and thought it was an amazing event. Alex McQueen was masterful." He was.
Wasn't he? I think he was feeding off the audience. The more he did, the more he heightened it, and it was just glorious. Especially how they did the master reveal. That was superb. That got a lot of cheers in the room. I think that was probably the moment what people reacted to the most.
Yeah, I think
in our showing.
Yeah, I wonder how different the different showings were as like a audience experience, because the script's not going to change at all. There might be the odd word that gets swapped out just because
or the date.
Because the date is specifically mentioned as being the 13th or 14th of September at one point for the modern side of the story. So I wonder if they did swap it out for the 15th when it came to today's showings.
I mean, if you saw it today, let us know.
Let us know if you even remembered that, because it's like one of those lines that not everyone will necessarily pick up on.
It's a very new series thing, isn't it? Especially like Flux. And I guess Moffat started it with like the Pandorica opens, like, was it the 26th of June 2010?
Yeah. Although I imagine it's easier for them to do. Well, it's obviously easier for them to do as a live thing because it's just insert today's date here. Whereas with the TV show, they've got to do so much pre-planning for that and then making sure they actually hit those dates. I'm still waiting for that The Woman Who Fell to Earth review. I remember watching a live reaction to the 13th Doctor with Scarrow Productions. That was a fun night.
It was a fun one.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time.
Did that not go out on this?
No.
I know who
it did. Woman Who Fell to Earth went out on here because Matt couldn't get onto his channel.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. It's on this channel.
Yeah, but the Matt edition is probably never going to happen.
No,
unless we do like a 10-year anniversary of it. I don't know. But yeah.
That's still a while off there. The master reveal was definitely the funniest part of the performance. Everyone loved it, said John.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I was like, that was the part 1 cliffhanger as well, wasn't it? That was going into the interval. That was perfectly timed. I didn't pick up on the date. What a fun detail, said Hoovians.
There you go.
I mean, speaking of the date, only in a room full of Hoovians could you get a laugh out of, oh, it's the day after President Kennedy was assassinated. It makes you feel almost bad that that's...
I mean, there was a few little winks and nods, wasn't it? Because it's like, oh, it's like that new children's show.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. It's very Remembrance of the Daleks-esque in how it works as a celebratory story. You know, this sort of anniversary, but it's not a Doctor Who anniversary. It's a Big Finish anniversary.
Yeah, because on the surface of it, it's not really like properly celebrating Big Finish 25 years of Doctor Who.
Not as a story in itself.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that it's this live event. It's that's the celebration, isn't it?
I guess it's like the characters. Like you've got the main Big Finish Dr. McGann.
Yeah.
McQueen, the Big Finish master in his own right. And I guess Charlie, it makes sense to do that with, those two.
Yeah. Is she Big Finish's first original? No.
You got Evelyn.
Before that. Yeah. But nevertheless, she's one of the most iconic Big Finish original companions, I think it's fair to say.
I mean, it did make me think if McGann was ill for one of the days, would they have got Colin? And then we'd have had like Colin and Charlie?
Yeah. I mean, a bit like what they did with the Ultimate Adventure, was it? Where you had a run of that with Pertwee, and then you did another run with Colin.
I mean, that'd be cool if they did like a whole tour of it, and like certain locations, you had like McGann did it for 2 weeks, then Colin, then whatever Doctor wants to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Because in the studio version, you had Annette Badland as Emily Barnfather, the older, whereas live it was Carolyn Seymour. So we got to hear a performance that only, well, I say only, however many,
exclusive for like the live,
one-off one, or 4 off, as it were. Yeah,
which we'll hear eventually. So it's exclusive for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, nevertheless, it's interesting that you do have 2 different takes on the same character there. And it'll be, I mean, I haven't dived into the studio version yet, but it'd be interesting to see how they compare.
I almost don't want to view the studio version in the way, because I'm like, I don't want to tamper that memory of it. But I'm itching to listen to it.
Yeah, to experience the story again, perhaps with a more critical eye, because I think it's easy to get swept up in the hype of it all, isn't it, when you're there and live experiencing it.
Yeah, because I think you see McGann in costume swagger out, and you're just like, oh my god, we're seeing new 8th Doctor content in front of our very own eyes,
Yeah. I think, no matter what the quality of the story, you're still got to be having a good time, because you're there more for that experience of seeing these actors on stage performing this, and in some way really making the most out of that. I think you have quite a few of the actors really going for it, like we've already said with McQueen. They certainly choose the scenery a bit, but it's what you're there for, isn't it? And sort of see, even though it's not a play, they're just standing there reading next to the microphone. There are gestures and stuff. There are looks to each other. Record. It is, transcends it somewhat. You do get to see them performing with more than just their voice. There is some physicality there as well. And some sort of some playing up to the audience too. Like, I think there's some laughs that they didn't quite expect, and so they start reading a line, but the audience would be too busy laughing, so they'd stop. They'd let that air out and then go back to it.
Yeah, especially I think the Dalek bit's got a few bits of laughter with Charlie and the Dalek.
Yeah, Nick was loving that.
Yeah, Nick was enjoying that, which is great. But it's interesting because it's like what you said yesterday, being in a room full of people and noticing how funny a script is and how people pick up on these little things. And it was just a nice little communal experience to like have a nice little belly laugh at these little moments, really.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those jokes were written specifically for, a studio audience. And like you could tell with moments like where Carolyn Seymour's character, Emily Barnfather, is recording her perspective of the events. And so she goes, "Oh, let me just take my phone out and put it on silent so the kids don't call while I'm recording this." And that's a meta joke as well about, actors having their phones on silent or, well, not on them.
So well, I thought it was quite a meta joke having somebody called Foley. And then you've got somebody on the side of the stage doing all the Foley as well, live there for you, which I think, what an amazing job that person did. Because like trying to stay up to date with the script and then do all the Foley sound as well. It was truly an art. And I think this is the thing, what was brilliant about seeing it live, it makes you appreciate all the effort that goes into making these stories. But it's not just the performance, it's everything around it all, encompassing the sound design, the Foley.
You really Gabriel Clark as well, who did all the Foley sounds.
Yeah, so I think it makes you really appreciate the effort. We learn the time scale in making a Big Finish story. But they had a couple of days to rehearse this, whereas they don't have that luxury. And sort of talking about post-production, it's all pretty fascinating stuff, really.
Yeah, because certainly when they usually record these, they don't have all that Foley sound with them. They'll sometimes have a bit of a wild track and stuff. I think that's something they introduced fairly recently for recordings like Dark Gallifrey. But yeah, with all that coming together here live, it made sense that they'd rehearse it all week. And yeah, I think so many things landed so well. You could tell that preparation had gone into it beforehand.
And I think it made the cast shine because they've built a rapport with each other. So it wasn't like, oh, it's a little bit awkward because I just gathered for this thing. They've built up a relationship, not only from recording the studio version, which they probably had the initial, I guess, nerves, and now they've sort of settled in. They've got a bit of rapport now, so they can really bounce off each other and get the best out of each other on stage.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, you could see that with some of the moments where they're looking at each other when they're riding the minecart at one point.
Yes, yeah.
Moments like that in the story. Yeah, really are a lot of fun. I mean, you've also got quite a neat little joke that I don't think will land as well in the studio version, where after Charlie climbs inside a Dalek to drive it around, Jago Penrose, one of Barnaby Edwards' characters, said, "Oh, you won't get me inside one of those things." And yeah, I mean, I think when you're there seeing Barnaby Edwards say those lines, it lands somewhat differently than if you hear it, because especially with him, he's disguising his voice quite a bit there. You're not necessarily going to pick up on, oh, this is a Dalek operator saying.
And can I just say, I think Alex McQueen aside, I think he was the star.
Ah, really?
Because he hosted it.
Not going to put down this before. He did a lot and directed.
He directed it, and I think just seeing how versatile he was with the characters he played, and how he just went for it. Yeah, I think he was a real. I think maybe because he thought, God, there's some big guns here with McGann. You know, I've really got to up the ante, and I think he did a marvelous job.
Yeah, they're not bit parts either.
No, really not.
Penrose and Foley are, well, Penrose in particular is a fairly substantial part of the story.
I
mean, yeah, he was the one who came out on stage first, introduced everyone, and very much warmed the audience up to it all, didn't they? Wonderfully.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Then
shame we didn't get the Zagreus encore, but it can't be helped.
Can't have everything.
I know.
Adrian James says hello there. Hello there, Adrian. Thank you for joining
Hello.
us. Sam says, I saw the resurrection of the Dalek set coming soon and tempted to get a different repaint of the same model is hard. I could get food with that.
I mean, yeah.
Have a Supreme Dalek.
That's Doctor Who priorities right there in a nutshell.
Oh, there's that Doctor Who quote of better to... it's from the Aztecs. Better to starve than starve for beauty, or whatever it is. I've butchered that horribly. It's Kameka.
The sentiment's there.
Yeah. Better to go hungry than starve for beauty.
But hey, you've got wonderful dollies.
Yeah. Edward's opening introduction was a highlight, says Jack.
It was a nice
feedback. Which showing did you make it to?
Yeah.
Jackal says, I'm pretty sure they did film it. There were some bulky cameras by the stage. Yeah, there were.
Whether that was just for social media, but it was great seeing like the little highlight section the Doctor Who socials put out of like McGann in like the TARD. Yeah, it was just like so like, oh, that's great. Yeah. And McQueen with like the TCE. Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah, you could tell a lot of fun was had by all, I think it's fair to say. Us included. What are some of your other highlights of the experience?
I think the Withnail and I joke was great. I think we're accidentally on holiday. That was great because I love Withnail and I. I think just being in that room and just seeing like the TARDIS and the Dalek there and like the TARDIS console, even though it was wrong, it was just it's more than just microphones standing there. And I think just the lights as well and having like the swirl effect of like the Pertwee Vortex on the TARDIS when they played the theme.
Yeah. It wasn't the usual David Arnold theme though, was it? It was the theme they use in, I think,
Nick Briggs' theme.
Yeah. Whether that's due to rights issues or something, I don't know.
Or whether it's just another differentiate the live from studio.
Yeah, the studio one is just using the David Arnold theme. I did have a peek at that to see.
And I guess Nick being there, it'd be let's use his 8th Doctor theme as well.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, certainly having all that going on in person was... Yeah, they knew how to draw you in. I think it
really helped the atmosphere, I think, as well, like the lighting, but it wasn't just one sort of lighting cue. It sort of alternated to fit the atmosphere of it.
Changed it for the different scenes to make it either cozy or when you got some more Dalek-oriented scenes, it went quite a stark white at times.
Quite clinical, quite clinical. Yeah. I liked McGann and Charlie appearing with the drizzle and the umbrella.
Or the mizzle.
The mizzle.
You had there were quite a few laughs at the Foley effects like that, weren't there? When the umbrella popped up. The biscuits getting handed over. I think Ben has frozen there. So he will probably disappear for a minute and a sec and then come back when either his internet is restored or whatever has happened there. But yeah, anyway, let's take a look at the chat, see what everyone's saying. Ryan Carrick. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for joining us again. Hi, I really enjoyed the show. It was great fun. It was great to see Alex McQueen back as the Master, but wish he had more to do. Yeah, he was very much, on the sidelines for part 1 and then came along for part 2. I do think, was there a bit too much for the story to juggle? I don't know. It's going to be interesting re-listening to this one as the studio version when, you're not got that high-end buzz of seeing it all live, being part of that event, and just focusing a bit more on the story and working out from there exactly how I feel about it. Because, at the moment, I think it's a good, fun story, but I don't know if it's the greatest of stories. But this depends been eaten by the Vashta Narada, says who with a small collection. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case. Who turned off his camera? It will be interesting going back to the studio one and seeing how much I enjoy it then as a story in its own right. But at the same time, I feel like I'll still be sucked back into that live experience by it. Like, it'll trigger some memories of how it all went down in person. So it's always going to be a bit entangled with that. There's going to be a certain bias thanks to seeing it live, which, isn't necessarily a bad thing. We all have certain different experiences of different stories. Sometimes if you come into something while you're in a bad mood, that is going to set the tone for it, sadly. If you've had a really good day and you sit down to watch something that's maybe a bit naff, but you're just in the mood to kick back and have some fun, you're probably going to get a bit more enjoyment out of it. All these experiences are subjective in their own ways. And I'm just rambling at this point in the hopes that Ben comes back sooner rather than later. But I did pick up a program as well. I've got that right in front of me. And there was a nice surprise in there I can show off. If I put the camera live, we'll see if it turns up all right. Can I get it? So there's Metamorphosis. And there, what is that? But a Living Darkness cover has been revealed. And it's a photo cover as well. So, it seems that we are moving away from painted covers in general, not just the digital paintings, but also Christopher Naylor's paintings perhaps as well, which is a shame to see them go if that is the case. He has returned.
Yeah.
I was just showing off the Living Darkness cover.
Oh, nice.
That was revealed in the program there. I mean, we were both speculating, would there be a program? It sort of seems obvious in hindsight that yes, there would be, because it is. But at the same time, you sort of wonder, will they actually do one? Because they've not mentioned it.
Yeah, because the only merch there was program, poster, and the CD, which you went all out on, which you probably said already.
I haven't actually.
Oh, well, Luke went all out.
Yeah, I went all out. Ryan says, saw you guys, but sadly did not have time to stop and chat due to hectic transport. Yeah, I don't know what it'll be like on re-listen. The queue for the program put me off a bit, I must admit. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, sorry didn't have time to come to see us. I mean, we were also in a bit of a rush to get you had
the tube
6:10 train to get back.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to leave Sloane Square, that was what it took us like 3 or 4 tubes to actually get on.
Yeah, God, it was mad. I mean, we did run into a couple of people there,
which was really nice. It's really nice to say hello to some people. But it just made me go, I can see why that venue doesn't really work as like a big finish day event.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that, and then you mentioned it to me that that was where they had Big Finish Day as well. I was like, seriously, that was where they chose. It worked for this, I think.
Just about like it was a nightmare trying to get merch. So literally, as soon as the interval happened, I was like, right, we're running to get the program here.
Yeah, because we were lining up before that. That was the start of our experience. And we were sort of snaking around all the tables and stuff they had in there. And then it sort of got to the point where I think they announced over the tunnel, they realised people weren't giving up on that queue. They were like, please take your seats. The merch will be available in the interval. Yeah, and we were like, oh, okay. We'll go to the toilet quick, then go. And I mean, the queue for the men's toilets was a lot longer than the queue for the women's. I think there's about only at a Doctor Who event could that be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully we did make it to our seats in time. We sat down, and then I began probably about 30 seconds later.
Yeah, it was good. It was all good.
I hope we get an Eighth Doctor TV show one day, as it is time. I think, that's everyone's hope.
I mean, I think we're edging closer. I think having McGann in costume live, and he's just effortlessly the Doctor, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still got it. Like, I mean, he's always had it vocally, we've known, but thanks to Power of the Doctor and stuff, seeing him there, he's still got it physically as well. He can easily do it. He's got that charm about him.
He had his brainy specs on, so he's joined that club.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, surely it's got to happen if it's going to. Sometime
I think,
soon. Fingers crossed. It would be nice. Just a minute. Who was talking? Eighth Doctor YouTube miniseries. I think would probably be the way that they would go. I mean, probably like an iPlayer little thing. I don't know. Just sewing a little bit more for McGann would be nice.
Yeah, forget your land and sea stuff. Give us McGann. I love the Sea Devils, but I'd rather have a McGann series.
Yeah, I mean, you have interviews with Paul McGann, India Fisher, and Alex McQueen in the program as well, and they mention that he's only got about 120 total screen runtime.
Wow.
And yet, people are still coming up to him, interested in him. The Doctor's never left him, partially because of Big Finish, and partially just because that is what the role of the Doctor is.
Well, it's a lifelong thing, isn't it? It's you for life.
And it's probably the interviewer also mentions to him Tom Baker's 90 and he's still playing the Doctor for Big Finish. So I wonder what McCann's internal reaction was to hearing that. An existential crisis, perhaps.
He's like, what? I've got to do it for more years? I can't escape the booth. What if I get bored?
Ben Luke, can you recommend me any Eighth Doctor audio stories I should listen to? As the only one I listened to was Once and Future. There's
so many
out there.
Blood of a Daleks is a nice, safe one.
Yeah, I was going to say that's always one of the first shouts, isn't it? The Audacity sets.
Yeah, I think they're really good.
Yeah, particularly Tim Foley's The Great Cyber War. I think that's a really strong story. Yeah, I'm just trying. And then I'd say What Lies Inside as well, Paradox of Daleks. That's a pretty fun start.
Silver Turk, I quite like. That was one of the first ones I listened to.
Yeah, that's pretty standalone as well. Or Stuff of Legend, maybe.
Yeah.
Given that's what we're talking about tonight. It's certainly not a bad place to jump in with some Eighth Doctor fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Stuff of Legend is
pretty accessible.
Yeah, I think because you've got the Daleks there, you've got the Master there. It's using familiar elements, and I think that's the thing you need. And I think that's why you kind of have to have the Daleks in this sort of live show, because you can't have like an original Big Finish creature, because like, how do you imagine it? You know what?
I mean, you do have one of those as well.
You do have with like the Bucker. But I think just having the iconography there of the Daleks, it helps a lot.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, imagine they're the ones that are all over the program and the posters and such. They're what is drawing people in. There was one on stage as well. Yeah, I think it is a good place to go. It's all got that Five Doctors vibe in a way, hasn't it? Of you place set with just one Doctor instead of, or maybe like we said earlier, Remembrance of the Daleks vibe. That's the style of anniversary it's going for.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I think it's looking at it, it's not a bad place to jump on.
And it's wrong to say that it's a simple story, because I feel like that's doing like a disservice. But it's everything it needed to be.
Yeah.
It served its purpose.
For a live event as well, they're not going to want to go for something that's continuity heavy or weighed down by anything like that. Especially because I imagine a fair section of people there had not listened to any or much Big Finish before that.
Yeah, they're coming along with their partner or whatever.
Yeah,
who are just going there to show support. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's sort of made with that in mind for it to be accessible to all, and so that also makes it a good little jumping on point. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe go for Stuff of Legend then, Daniel. See what you think. Who from the Small Collection said the Audacity set is a really good starting point for newcomers, I think. Yeah, there you go. That's another one. The Resurrection of Mars 2-part is amazing. So is Dark Eyes. If you don't want to commit to the whole run, the first set is standalone, says Ryan.
I do love Dark Eyes. I mean, I've got a strange itching for Dark Eyes 2 now. After having the Queen. I'm just like, I want a bit more McQueen and McGann.
Yeah, because even though he's appeared with quite a few Doctors, well, I say he's appeared with Colin and Sylvester. It does feel like McGann is his Doctor.
Yeah.
The Resurrection of Mars is good, but defo not a good place if you don't know the 8th Doctor Adventures context that's in a Small Collection.
Yeah, exactly. That nice little reveal of a certain character.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sam says, I watched Love and Monsters for the first time in years. My God, it goes off the rails so quick. Oh dear. That's one I've not gone back to in a long while. I've sort of been a bit nervous about it.
I can't remember last time I watched it. Probably lockdown.
Oh, way before then for me.
Wow.
I remember I used to quite enjoy it when I was younger. So almost like, and then got to know the fandom opinion of it. So almost like scared to go back and touch it again. I sort of got so caught up in the fandom point of view of it that I don't really know what my own opinion of it is at this point. So I probably should rewatch it to form that, but at the same time,
I
was got put off a bit. On the opposite end, who from the Small Collection says Love and Monsters is perfect.
There you go.
Top tier ending. Oh, you would say that, Sam.
There we go.
We even have a bit of a love life.
Oh dear. But anything else to say on Stuff of Legend?
Just a really good time, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a hard one to judge as a story.
Yeah,
because it's.
Yeah, I was talking about that while you were MIA for a bit.
Yeah,
carry on.
Because it's very much. It's there for the fans with like. It's sort of like the Daleks' greatest hits in a way.
You got a lot of Invasion Earth feel to it, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got
caves
a little bit of the Daleks, which is nice. But it's sort of it's a story that sort of builds and builds, and it's just layers it perfectly, and then it sort of goes a bit Christopher H. Bidmead. So it's sort of homaging like different areas of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm loving all the Cornish folklore stuff at the start, and I think
that's what I love.
Yeah,
I love it when we sort of learn about sort of folklore and the offerings of like the Cornish pasties that got a few laughs as well.
Yeah, Penrose, he had quite a few laughs out of him. Good for Ken Bentley
with his dynamite.
Yeah, I mean all the actors got quite a few laughs, I think, and they were also, I don't want to say playing up to the audience because that almost sounds like a put down of them as serious actors in a sense, but at the same time they knew what people were here for. They knew they were there for that live.
I guess they were doing like a Tom Baker where like the audience like that, so I'll do more of that.
Yeah, but I mean you can play off the audience when you got them there, when you can get a feel for them, which is different from a usual Big Finish. So, I mean, if you've got that opportunity, why not go for it? And McQueen certainly did.
Oh yeah,
I think, yeah. I mean, he was introduced as they don't come more. He's the Doctor's arch nemesis, and they don't come more arched than Alex McQueen, which I think perfectly set the scene for him, and he lived up to that and exceeded it.
It was just great hearing him after like so long.
I think seeing him as well, like he was certainly putting a bit into the physicality of it, as much as he could with the limitations of, you know, standing in a mic and such. But yeah, like the facial expressions too. There's that moment where the Master finds out the Daleks are there, and there's just bits like that it goes beyond just standing and reading the lines in character. There is a physical performance there as well, which we got to experience, which is rather nice to see, really.
I don't think we got a Hello You.
No, we didn't.
Which is a shame.
You always think that would be there for the applause. That would undeniably follow it, but alas not. I suppose, Robert Valentine probably was looking for a way to slot in there, but just couldn't quite fit into the story. What do you think will happen next for the Eighth Doctor? We know Charlie and Audacity are the team, but do you think we could get anything surprising in the set? Well, that's an interesting chat, because we don't quite have story details or a cover yet. We've got a little bit of story details on Deadly Strangers. But good.
Yeah, with is it Matthew Jacobs coming back?
Yeah, could the Dream Crabs be back, given that we've got a story about dreams going on in there? I'm sort of feeling perhaps not for this one. I think it will, similar to Echoes, it'll be, in quotation marks, just an Eighth Doctor set. But I don't mean that as a put down necessarily. But I don't see them slotting in any huge surprises. I could be wrong. But yeah, I do think these stories will stand on their own and be judged on their own strengths.
Which is sort of a shame, really. Unless there's like an overarching theme, like Bleak Midwinter. Because I think that was a nice sort of box set, really.
I mean, supposedly the theme with Deadly Strangers is, you know, people visiting Earth with bad intentions or visiting places.
Okay.
That's where the Deadly Strangers title comes from. Daniel Hager says, I'm going to start my Eighth Doctor journey from Big Finish on download, and I will start on the monthly range Eighth Doctor stories if they are only $2.99. That's a good shout. Right, fiscally responsible.
There's Sharda as well. I think £5 that's still in stock on CD.
Oh wow! I'm surprised that's still around.
Yeah, I mean, I got it a couple months back actually. I think the Lala Ward sale. I think it was like £2.50. So I was like, oh, why not?
His Ball Collection concurs there and says perfect starting point with Storm Warning.
Yeah, Storm Warning's got this wonderful 90s feel to it. Like it's very sort of homage in sort of X-Files. Especially towards sort of the latter end of the story. But yeah, it's one what I enjoyed more on re-listen actually, Storm Warning.
Yeah, I've been going back and re-listening to quite a few things recently, as in some ways enjoying that more than listening to some new Big Finish.
Well, especially with all the technical issues, you can't listen to some of the recent stuff because of the app issue and everything going on with the website. So we've got no choice but to go back in the back catalogue, really.
Well, you can always download from the website.
That's but it's not my style. It's not my style.
You've got you're comfy with your way of listening.
Exactly. I don't want to rock the boat in the status quo like Big Finish have rocked it. I don't want to purge my collection and hide stuff. I want to have it all there, what I've bought, you know? I don't want to do that sort of tedious thing. I'm like, what if I don't get it back?
I'm sure you will, but yeah, it's understandable the hesitation.
I don't want to risk it.
I mean, yeah, it's not like you haven't got stuff to listen to anyway.
The way you're like, hey, we need to do this. We need to listen to this. Yeah.
We put too much on the pile.
We do.
But yeah, I mean, Law of the Nomad was a recent re-listen. That was a good time. I think we'll probably go back to that one. Give it a review. We'll see.
Yeah, well, especially with the new trailer for Trials of a Time Lord.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, a lot of Colin recently. I've noticed what I've been downloading to save up for at some point is quite a bit of Colin stuff. Like 2020 and I think 2014 to 2020 Colin, because that seemed to be where he was at his best. Well, his stories were at his best, at their best. Well, the Sixth Doctor was at his best. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Colin was. I think it was either Colin or McGann who were like the kings of Big Finish, and I think it's kind of changed now. I don't know who is the best Doctor of Big Finish now.
It's almost like there's too many to choose from, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
but, it's like there's not necessarily one that's standing out and standing proud. I mean, Third Doctor's having a good run at the moment.
Yeah. It had a little bit of a wobble with Return of Jo Jones.
I think we're far enough past that now.
Yeah, I mean, Quintessence, that's sounding pretty good. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but part of that, how much of that is the Doctor himself in those stories, and how much is the era authenticness of those stories? Just the general vibe they give. It's hard to tell. Hoover Sawker says Fifth Doctor, I think, is the weakest so far.
Okay.
Any of his sets so far. Let's say next week.
Is this relaunch wise?
But hype for his 12th parter next year. I think the Fifth Doctor is one of the ones that's in the best place, to be honest.
Yeah, because I think 40 that redeemed itself with 42. Then you had what was it? Conflict of Interest, which that was kind of take it or leave it. And I think we're in the minority with that. I think people love that set.
That does seem to have gone down very well.
And then in the night, Tim Foley's 4-parter was just sublime.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Foley's definitely the one that's keeping the Fifth Doctor going for me, with the Auto Infinity, in Pursuit of the Nightjar, and the Merfolk Murders.
Yeah. Is that still your favourite release of the year?
Perhaps. Certainly my favourite story of the year, Merfolk Murders.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the Dream Team overall is my favourite release at this point. Maybe other stronger contenders, thanks to August.
I mean, do you put Goth Opera in that category as well? Because I think Goth Opera was really good.
Yeah, it's what. I mean, it's ongoing Fifth Doctor stuff, isn't it? Even if it's not the Fifth Doctor Adventures range.
Well, it was going to be part of it, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah, at one point. Does it have it on the back, actually?
I think it's just Goth Opera, I think. I don't know, but the CD's in another room. But I've got the replacement discs now, so hopefully it's not TARDIS door sound every 5 seconds.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that, because that definitely weighed down part 1 a bit. I don't know why, I just don't like Pursuit of the Nightjar. I feel really bad for not liking it, says Invincible Collection. No, fair enough. That's not every story can't be for everyone, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, when you reach it in your marathon, hopefully you'll be open-minded and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, just wait and see how it goes. And if you don't enjoy it, it's just not a story for you.
I mean, there's plenty of choose from.
You seem to be in the minority of not being the biggest fans of conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
Right, hopefully for all of us, the Great Beyond goes down well, though. Only Fifth Doctor book Big Finish box set I like was 41 and 2.
Okay.
Right. Wow. Maybe a bigger arc like this 12-part they've got coming will be for you then, Daniel.
Yeah, and I think as well, it being pretty much consecutive months, that's going to help it. Whereas I think 40 was hindered with January and then waiting till September.
Yeah, same with 7th Doctor Last Day. They definitely struggled a bit there. Yeah, I mean, the story of The Last Day didn't help it much either, but I think that gap didn't do too much for it.
Yeah, The Last Day just made me... I think that's the worst release of the year so far for me.
Yeah, might be.
I think for me, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing else that's jumping out as particularly bad. Most of it's just been all right to pretty good.
Maybe Classic Doctors Volume 4.
I feel that's got a bit more redeeming it than Last Day.
But it's near the bottom for me. Compare like the standard of other stuff we've had this year.
I think definitely, yeah. When you compare it to the other Classic Doctors New Monsters sets, I think whereas with Last Day we were sort of anticipating that to be
something a bit bigger.
Yeah, but also I think by the time we got through part 1, going into part 2, it was sort of like, okay, it is what it is now. Whereas with Classic Doctors New Monsters, I think we had that hype for it because we knew what that series could do.
Especially coming off Volume 3, which is the dark horse of that range, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a particularly strong one. Hoover's Small Clash says, I'm on 4th Doctor Series 12 at the moment in my marathon, but I made the big mistake of starting the Target novels too, so I'm juggling like both. I think Morbius the Mighty Bite Me, my least favourite.
Wow, Tim Foley. Wow, he's really getting kicked here.
Ooh, poor guy.
We love Tim Foley. He's like the best writer for us.
Yeah. I mean, Morbius the Mighty is a contender for my favourite set of the year.
It's up there. I don't know where I'd put it. I finished it, yeah. I finished it last week.
Ooh. We'll have to record a review for that.
Yeah, we'll have to record that, yeah, because we both know we like it. And we like, I think, yeah, having listened to Morbius Dark Gallifrey, it was very much sort of the foundation for this set. And I think that really aided my enjoyment.
Yeah. Hoovian with a small collection says, I love Tim Foley's Torchwood stuff. Just think sometimes his Doctor Who stuff doesn't hit the same. I'm sort of almost the opposite in some ways. I mean, I do think his Torchwood stuff's really good, but I think Tim Foley as a writer gets better the more time he has.
Yeah, like Friend of a Family, brilliant.
Yeah. I think with his Torchwood stuff, often that's 1 hour stories, and they're often very strong, like particularly his ones for Among Us. But I think when you give him 2 hours to play with, like The Golf, or 3 hours like Morbius the Mighty, or 4 hours like Friend of the Family, that's when you're just getting exponentially better with his skills as a writer. And I think it's where he can combine his character work with his plotting. And yeah, he's just got such a knack for getting the pace right of stories. And yeah, I think with Morbius the Mighty, you really do get a movie scale to that story.
It just becomes more grander and grander, doesn't it, that story?
Yeah. And it's like thematically, the characters and their arcs go wonderfully with what's going on. Yeah, it all feels very tightly written, very well planned out. And yeah, I think there's no other writer quite like him at Big Finish.
I think he is. I think him and James Goss are probably my favourite writers at the minute for Big Finish.
James Goss is hit and miss for me. I think he can write some absolute bangers. Yeah.
And I think Rob Valentine as well, actually. I think he's up there as well. So I've not listened to the most recent River set yet, but you've listened to it and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have high praise for that one. It's not quite Friend of the Family level, but it is very good stuff. And again, I think similar to Tim Foley there, he's utilized the 4-hour format very well. And yeah, he's another writer who I think gets better the more time he has. Like when you look at things like that and He Who Fights with Monsters. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to have a Dark Gallifrey set.
Yeah, I imagine he will.
I swear he's like producing it or something though, which doesn't necessarily stop him. But I think he's definitely got a hand in there, isn't he? Yeah. What is his role with Dark Gallifrey? I swear he has one. Range producer. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I thought so. Dark Gallifrey, Bernie Summerfield is amazing so far. Wish it was a box set as an E Part 3 now. Props James Goss's best work. I like how you call it Dark Gallifrey, Bernie Summerfield there, who from a small collection, because even though the title says War Master, Bernie's the main character for sure.
I've still not listened to part 2 of that yet, actually.
I have now. It's not quite on the same level as part 1.
Yeah, I guess part 1's special because you've got that mindset of this is David Warner's last outing.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Perhaps a bit too long for its own good, but yeah, I think I have to wait and see how things play out in part 3. Hoover's Small Collection also says, I will say, though, I like the route they're going for writer-led box sets, as though it's nice to have writers lead story arcs properly. Agreed. I think it's definitely something Big Finish seems to be. I don't know whether they're pushing it more in recent times or if it's just a little tagline that they start to like using now. But yeah, certainly it is something that feels like it's paying off.
I think every box that what they've done that with has been a favourite. For me, I feel.
Yeah, it's like you're getting into something special when you have that. I think especially when you're coming off the back of something like Once and Future, which felt almost anti-writer in a way with the shopping list they were giving. I think this is a much better way of letting writers really experiment and be creative in the way they tell their stories.
And I guess Dark Gallifrey, War Master / Bernie Summerfield is kind of like what Once and Future could have been with the shopping list of characters, but with one writer leading it, really.
Yeah, and time for that shopping list to breathe.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Also, the way they all come together does work very well. Yeah, it all makes sense. Hoover's Small Collection says you need to listen to part 2, like Cap, John, War Master, and Bernice. It shouldn't work, but it just does somehow. I
really enjoyed Two's Company. That shouldn't have worked, but hey, I loved it. So I'm sure I'm going to love the shopping list approach with that.
Yeah, James Masters is probably the one who steals the show in it. He's endlessly entertaining.
Wow. Okay.
So hyped for Once a Future. Coda, my girl is coming back to me. Vienna Salvatore, the best 8th Doctor companion. I forgot she's in it as well. There's so much going on with that one.
That's got so many characters, isn't it?
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, be interesting to see how he deals with that shopping list approach.
I mean, I don't want to say they made a big deal out of Vienna being in the last day, but they did mention the fact that she was there in the marketing for it, and then she ends up just being in one scene.
But she's in Master, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much her spin-off now.
It literally is. Yeah, it's one way of them getting around it. Yeah, but I've heard good things about Vienna's series, but I've just not tried it out.
Yeah, I've still not listened to Planet Doom, the recent Master.
I've only done episode 1 of those. And I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just sometimes other things come along.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where it's like, oh, it's been too long now. Oh, I need to
I have to restart.
Yeah. The board of Vienna together at last. You're
That's the
assuming
combo you want.
They are both in the story, but are they going to share a scene?
That's.
Shall see. Planet Doom is probably the best master set.
I can see that. I can see that.
I'm glad I've made a good choice there. I'm glad. Just need to actually get around to listen to it at some point. There's quite a few things still on the listening pile. I've not touched Susan's War yet.
That arrived the other day for me, actually, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I ordered this." Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Susan's War. It's one of those ones where I'll listen to it eventually. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
I think the Underdog spin-offs by Big Finish of Vienna and Graceless. Yeah, I suppose because they don't have the explicit Doctor Who connection there, which in some ways frees them a bit, because I know Graceless certainly goes in a more adult direction with that. But yeah, at the same time, I mean,
Vienna does with the covers, to be honest.
Yeah,
they're really trying to push themselves with those covers.
Oh dear. But yeah, because it's like a spin-off of a character that originates on audio rather than on TV. It's like you're not going to get people in from the TV show diving straight into stories like that, whereas someone who likes Doctor Who TV might go for River Song as their first finish set, just because they like that character so much and would rather spend more time with them. Susan's War is like the opposite of Dark Gallifrey, but it's like Alex, Susan, and War should work, and it doesn't. Oh dear.
It's interesting because obviously the way the 8th Doctor Series 4 ended, it just feels like they're sort of undoing some of the stuff they've done, really. Yeah. I'd be curious to see how they go and how they handle, I guess, what of a Time War 4 cliffhanger. Because that's not been properly resolved yet, has it? I can't remember.
Cass.
Oh, yeah. See, Cass is a boxer. I liked it. I forget it exists.
Well, I don't know. The Doctor might forget it happened as well.
I mean, that's classic McGann. Swiss cheese brain.
Given where we end up with Night of the Doctor. I mean, presumably they're going in some direction like that with Reflections.
Yeah. I mean, Uncharted looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've still not pre-ordered that yet. Yeah, Time War 8th Doctor is one of those ones where it's like, do I really need it? I know I'm going to get it, but do I really need it?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm enjoying War Doctor so much at this point. But, I found a bit of the Time War that works for me now. I'd just rather enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because I've given up on whatever the big picture's meant to be.
Yeah, the whole the Big Finish Time War tapestry. Yeah.
Ryan Carrick says, Susan's War was good fun, not amazing, but a solid first set. I brought it at a convention, got it signed by Carolyn Ford. Unfortunately, she misheard my name and wrote it to Brian.
Oh,
sorry, Ryan. You could maybe try crossing out the B.
maybe.
No, yeah, that's brutal. But it makes it unique to that one moment and unique to Carol.
Yeah, because I think Stephen did it at a Big Finish Day, didn't he? And somebody's Outlaws.
Oh,
right, David, from what you're saying to us, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he sent out another copy
to make things right there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting bored of the Time War, not gonna lie. It's even a small collection. Yeah, I can see that. I'm getting bored of the 8th Doctor side of it. It's hard to say with the War Master because a lot of that isn't really Time War stuff at this point.
It's sort of periphery, isn't it? It's in that sort of sandbox, but it's just you might get the odd Dalek appear.
Yeah, you'll have a moment of, oh, this is the Time War is going on. The Master will sort of drop a mention of, oh, currently there's this huge war raging, and I can use this to play my part in it. Like you have a bit of that in Dark Gallifrey, War Master Part 2, but they're not really Time War stories for the most part. Whereas, you look at something like the Eighth Doctor, that's always going pretty heavy on Time War. I think they're starting to learn the lesson a bit recently, but yeah. And then War Doctor is often in heart of it, and I think that works. I think
especially the writer-led stories.
Yeah, 3-hour epics in the Time War, I think, is what's working there. I think 1 hour episode, like, instant and a week style stories don't quite suit the Time War. I have enjoyed Time War 8th Doctor from Volume 4 onwards, says Ryan.
I mean, Volume 4 is really good. I love Palindrome.
That's probably the strongest of the series. I still love Planet of the Ogrons, though.
I think, that's probably the best of, like,
the
that original run. Yeah. It's a strange ride, 8th Doctor, Time War.
Daniel Hegg says, Benedict, I forgot to tell you, I found a leak about next year's Big Finish and Torchwood monthly story to end next year's, and they are doing more box sets and more lost stories are coming.
That makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, isn't the Seventh Doctor and the next Seventh Doctor set meant to be Seventh Doctor, Ace, and Autons? Or is that a BBC Audio I'm getting mixed up?
There is a BBC Audio doing that, I think.
Okay.
That might be where you're getting that from. I'm here, says Stylish One. Stream's still going. Yes, the stream.
We're here. You're here. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your intro, by the way, for the
Deaf World.
Yeah, the Deaf World video. We included that because that was a brilliant little suggestion from you there. So thank you.
Yeah. Shows the history, I guess. Did you get Stephen Noonan's video? We did. And he was like, guess who? And we're like, it can only be one person.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great to put a face to the name, finally.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed meeting him as well.
Yeah, he spoke very highly of you.
Yeah, he's very chuffed to have met you.
Yeah, after just seeing the name in the chat for so long, going, it's you.
Yeah, Stephen Noonan met Stylish One before me and you met.
Yeah. Sorry, Stephen, if you're watching on replay.
The 8th Doctor Time War stuff often does not work for me because it feels like where things should be experimental, but as the Time War label, it is often simple to attract new listeners, says Ryan Carrick. Yeah, hopefully that is going to change with Uncharted. With the title of that going into Uncharted territory, it looks like that could perhaps be what's going on. Have you seen who Hattie Morahan and I can't remember the actor's name he played?
Conrad Westmus.
Conrad Westmus. Have you seen who they're playing?
He follows me on Twitter. I feel quite blessed.
Have you seen who they're playing for? They're both Hieronyma Friend.
Right.
Yeah. So it seems there's that's what the connection was with the actress who plays Audacity, whose name has also escaped me now. I'm doing rubbish for this tonight.
Oh, God, you got me there now.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Jay Griffiths.
There we go.
Yeah. It seems that Hieronyma Friend is going to always be played by one of the 8th Doctor's companions, but for whatever reason, he doesn't recognize them. And so, yeah, that'll be a ongoing mystery for the Uncharted stuff going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's certainly surprising.
Yeah.
Just see how they do that. Slash one says, no problem, glad you enjoyed it. The review was great. If you ever need to edit something like condemned review, just say.
I mean, Luke is on a 6th Doctor binge, so
yeah.
And hopefully he's on a bit of a Charlie high as well. So maybe like, maybe I can combine the two together and start Six Up and Charlie.
It's crazy to think about how the new Bernice series is technically taking place in the New Who era timeline-wise, as it's set after Buried Threats. True. I mean, it all depends how exactly the Time War works in that sense. So is it set before the Time War impacts it? Because the Time War is obviously throughout all of time and stuff. It's all, when you get too bogged down with that, it gets a bit confusing. And I think Big Finish mostly just ignore that sort of thing. Like, you have River Song going about interacting with pre-Time War stuff, because why not? And Tyler Ronald says, thank you. Stephen was amazing. He spoke highly of you both. He did say Luke only lives in his room, though. So
it's true. He brought a screen. He's just a robot.
I was going around like one of those. What is it in the Demon Rises and the Mind Runners? I don't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
From the cover though.
Yeah.
Or maybe I sent my gadget.
Yeah, it's basically that, and I had to carry him up the stairs because he couldn't get up the stairs at Coogan.
Also, he interrupted me talking to Christopher Naylor for that.
Classic Stephen.
Yeah, no.
Oh, love the guy.
I mean, we are hopefully talking to him tonight after this. So carry your good wishes to him. And the leak did say that the Lost Torchwood Big Finish story will come out one day, as they are lost money. They got the CDs in the warehouse.
Absent Friends.
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, I've still technically got that on order.
Luke, it's been so long. I'm on season 7, episode 3. Says Stylish One. Is this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by any chance? Because funnily enough, I started season 1 again not too long ago. I think I started it Wednesday, and I'm already on episode 15 of season 1. Nah, it must have been a bit earlier than Wednesday.
Yeah.
What leak is this? We'll have to ask Daniel Hager.
Apparently more Torchwood stories, Lost stories.
Just more Big Finish.
Just more Big Finish coming, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, it does feel like we're in a bit of a lull for news at the moment.
I think they're all sort of trying to recover from the website thing.
Yeah. So you get the odd thing. It's mostly been trailers at this point. Like, not even that many cover reveals. I think the only cover we've had is the Jenny one.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think we'd get 7th Doctor news. Or like even the Benny covers for like Eternity Club.
Yeah, because those first 2 came out pretty swiftly before the new website came along. And then suddenly that ground to a halt.
I blame Zygon Sentry.
Yeah, that was the last.
It's all gone downhill since that. I'm sure it's a great release in its own right. Just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other releases we're still waiting for a cover on. I mean, we did get a title for The War Doctor Rises 2.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, but it's not on the actual website, but it's snuck at the end of the Morbius the Mighty article.
Oh, right.
Unknown Soldiers. Let me double check.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, Unknown Soldiers is going to be the next set out in December.
Oh, I wonder what that'll be about then.
I mean, like I mentioned before, we do have a Living Darkness cover, kind of. It's there.
Yeah, and I'll get it up.
Yeah, show it off again for those who weren't there for that.
Hopefully. I'm probably not going to focus, but
Yeah, you got Peter Purves front and center there.
There you go.
But I mean, hopefully it's not too long until that's revealed on the website and we can get a good blown up look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like it's got the Wraith Warriors on the cover, actually, with the red eyes. And we've got a German Shepherd on there as well. So we're going to have the original K9 by the looks of it. But interesting to include Living Darkness in there, considering it's not out.
I imagine that means we've got to get the cover sooner or later.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Who knows? Yeah,
maybe tomorrow.
That is only 4 months away.
No, it's not.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I wonder who that one's by.
Because it looks...
could be Sean Longmore, but could also be who's the one who done the Once and Future covers?
Is it Ryan Applin?
No.
Rafe Warbank?
No.
Anthony Lamb?
Lee Johnson.
Every other cover artist but one of it.
It's giving me a bit of Lee Johnson vibes or Sean Longmore. We'll see.
Well,
Cyrus says painted covers have been phased out in the time it took you to do another stream.
I think the painted covers are interesting, aren't they? Really, I think whether because they were affecting the sales of it. I think the painting covers initially started quite well, like with the audio novels, and I think the War Doctor.
First two War Doctor Begins ones were pretty strong. But, and over time, they just sort of became very meh.
It was sort of using the generic sort of cover, like Google image of a Doctor, like the Sixth Doctor covers. You're like, that's the first image of Colin you'll get.
The composition didn't feel all that well thought out a lot of the time. Often the lighting wouldn't match either. It just...
And then you'll get a box set like Beyond War Games where you've got Daleks and Ice Warriors, and they're not even on the cover, and you think, God, they're two big selling points there, and you're missing that opportunity.
Although I think that was more a creative decision from the producers there rather than the actual artist just deciding, cover, I'm just going to do this. But that I think there was a deliberate decision there to have those be that, to sort of like have it as this start of a new era thing. But at the same time, you do sort of think, this doesn't really represent the stories at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a flaw of the painted covers in that specific case. But certainly, I think we're having a lot of them. We're getting.
I mean, 10th Doctor Classic Companions. My goodness, what that should have been one of the big sellers, like one of the big releases, and it got that cover. Big yikes!
Yeah, it just felt like they saw the big response from those initial Scourge and Light the Flame covers and went hard on them, and then realized too late that they'd gone a bit too deep into it.
I mean, I'm glad consistency, Purity got all 4 covers like that.
But it's nice now to have
sort of a clean slate. Yeah.
If I had to see watercolored Hebe on another color illustration, I'd scream.
I mean, does Hebe exist anymore? Because like the Trials of a Time Lord video, she's not in it.
Yeah, and I don't think she gets a mention in the Quinn Dilemma either.
Wow.
I mean, it is somewhat ironic that her storyline, or part of the Purity arc, was about undoing her erasure from existence, only for Big Finish to then erase her again. Presumably, it's connected to Ruth Madeley being on TV as Shirley Ann Bingham. Now, I imagine that there's something there where we're not going to see Hebe for a while, if ever again.
Yeah.
Because of that. It is bizarre how big they went on Hebe, only for her now to just suddenly be forgotten. Who the hell is Matthew Sharp? Why is
Luke knows all about this.
Yeah, I know about who Matthew Sharp is.
That was his listen last night.
Hebe got Hannah Buff on mute. It's a stylish one. Can you ask Stephen if Jack got his proper autograph cover replacement? He should know what I'm on about. It was the guy who was in the queue with.
Yes, I think it was a guy he signed David. Yeah, I think he did it. I think he's replaced. I think.
Yeah, he certainly had the intention to.
Yeah, he's definitely mentioned it before to us. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we'll double check.
We'll get back to you in 4 months' time when we stream next. Yeah, hopefully it won't be as long as the gap what we've done previously.
Yeah. Stashnor says, I left school, started uni, we got a new government, a new Death in Paradise detective, and
God, yeah.
So much more since your last stream. Yeah, we did.
Wow.
A lot's happened. And yeah, a Big Finish live recording was announced. Tickets sold out. New ones went up. It went live. All since we last streamed.
Yeah, we saw it and we thought, hey, let's do a live stream about it.
Ooh, Sargent says, this was about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm going back up a bit. Season 5 was amazing, and I really enjoyed Season 6. Fitz, Enoch, Talbot being evil, Infinity War crossover, so much excellent writing. I know this means nothing to Ben. We're alienating him, but it's good shit. I do rate the show. Luke, thoughts on the big Death in Paradise news? That's a big casting news this year. I'm excited to see what he does. I think it's Don Gillett. He was in Doctor Who. Can I remember who he was in Doctor Who? He's in an RTD episode.
RTD1 or RTD2?
RTD1.
That makes sense.
I think was he Donna's husband?
Oh, Lance.
Yeah, I think that's
Roderick from Satellite 5. Even with small collection says.
Oh no, he was Lance Bennett.
Ah. There we go.
Yeah, he's new.
Most forgotten Big Finish companion. Well, Hebe, isn't it? Just, Matthew Sharp.
Yeah, he's certainly up there. I feel like there's
there's got to be some really obscure.
There's one of them that's so obscure that we've forgotten about them. So that's why.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Lysandra and Sally says he has a small collection.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, maybe because like so much time has passed since they've been around.
Is Lysandra dead now?
Yeah, that's the thing with The Last Day.
Was that reset or what?
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, what about that Fifth Traveler guy, played by James Joyce?
Oh yeah, I can't remember the character name, but yeah, he's definitely got to be there. I think because we don't know the name of the character, I think that it's a default contender.
But does he count as a companion?
Oh, is it Joseph?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Did you even listen to that story? I know I haven't.
I think I did like one episode and I was like, this is rough, and I just stopped it.
Yeah.
Fifth Traveler, Ben's favorite audio since the Black Hole. The Black Hole is actually good now, so maybe Fifth Traveler is a sleeper hit. There we go. There we are. Nice.
I thought, there's probably some other ones out there as well that I've forgotten about. But they wouldn't be forgotten. Big Finish. The most forgotten Big Finish companions are the ones we can't remember because they're forgotten.
It all makes sense.
Mari might be the most forgotten. She got mentioned in Queen Dilemma, but not Hebe. What is this? I mean, to be fair, they can't. They've sort of got to mention Mari in place of Charlie, though, just because. Yeah, so we can't actually mention Charlie, but it's their way of mentioning Charlie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the Ultimate Adventure Companions. Stylish.
God, that they got panned, didn't they? Those companions. Yeah, I mean, Beyond Ultimate Adventures might be one of the worst Big Finish stories.
Oh wow!
I think even Nick joked about it in Vortex.
You know it's bad when even Nick could get away with joking about it.
Yeah. Jason, Crystal, and Zog. There we go.
Oh yeah, they got a mention, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Finish what you're playing at. How long before that list becomes outdated and they introduce another new companion?
Oh, Colin seems to get every new companion, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Was the Missy story by Dark Husband guy any good?
No idea. We didn't pick up Missy. It's one of the releases we skipped this year.
Fabulous cover though.
Oh yeah, Bad Influence. Yeah, good cover. No Bad Habits is trash. There we go. There we go.
Hopes for the Doctor's Rangers going forward. I'd say First Doctor mixing up the companions a bit more, giving us like a Stephen and Vicky set during their travels rather than just going for old companions all the time.
Yeah. That's a hard one to talk about because we kind of know a little bit. But,
Second Doctor, sort of the same thing. Get away from the old companions, go back to just similar things to Operation Werewolf. Story set during the era rather than Beyond War Games. Sorry, Beyond War Games arc.
I mean, Operation Werewolf was like a tantalizing glimpse.
Bastard.
Yeah.
What about Third Doctor? I'd say just maybe keep doing what they're doing, but I'm trying to think of more specific things than just that. I wouldn't mind a Sarah Orton story.
Yeah.
Because both Liz and Joe have got one sort of have a round off a trilogy there with it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be cool. But I think the Third Doctor's got a nice little balance where each box set's a different companion.
I think things are going pretty well with the Third Doctor at the moment. Fourth Doctor. Yeah.
I don't know with Tom because they're recorded that far in advance. You just vibe with it because it's Tom Baker.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get some more six-parters.
Yeah,
that seems to be the direction most other Doctors are going down. I imagine it's just taking them a bit longer to catch up with that because of how far in advance they record. If it's not yet got to the point where they've realised, oh yeah, 6 parts, that's a new Big Finish trend. Give them a long form story. I mean, a Brig story as well. I think there's one recorded. But it's just a case of when are we going to hear that? Fifth Doctor would be nice to get more with Turlough.
Oh yeah, I think season 21 stuff would be great because we've not really had that.
Yeah.
Sixth Doctor. I mean, Flippin' Constance, I'd quite like to hear again because I think that was the highlight of Quinn Dilemma.
Yeah, I think going back to them proper rather than just having it feel like a throwback.
Yeah.
I like, carrying on their journey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hopefully rounding it off one day. Not that I want to hear the end of them, but just,
just know where it goes.
Endings. Yeah, and then you can always go back and fill in gaps like they do with. I mean, they've already done it with Constance, technically. The 11 and Colony of Fear were set pre her time with Flip, so, it's not impossible. But yeah, and also maybe some solo Colin.
I mean, I did say to you the other day, it'd be quite nice to have maybe like Grant Markham actually do his departure. Get Steve Lyons to do a box set. And give Grant his TARDIS exit as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it seems what we want from Colin is just actual
closure. Yeah.
Give Alder Perry a proper ending since they seemingly don't want to do anything more with that because they've now got a different Alder Perry.
Mm-hmm.
In Charles Batimble with Warrior Queen Perry.
Yeah. McCoy is pretty easy, actually. Just him and Ace.
Yeah, which is funny because we were sort of in I'm fed up with Ace. She's always in this stuff. Like 5 years ago or whatever was her attitude. Like she would turn up in the Mel trilogy, and yet now we're at a point where we just want to go back to the good old days of just Seven and Ace.
Yeah, just like another sort of fearmonger story, or just that Colditz type thing.
Yeah, because I mean, the last time we probably got something like that was Grey Man of the Mountain, I think.
That was really good. We enjoyed that.
Yeah, so just going back to that feel, really. And Eighth Doctor, I think, giving him another arc. Not necessarily a 16-part arc.
Yeah.
But, an arc nevertheless, I think would be the way to go.
I think chunkier stories.
Yeah, that's another option.
Because I think the strongest stuff of the Eighth Doctor has been the 4-parters and 2-parters.
Yeah, I agree. Bring back Tamsin Drew. It's a stylish one. Hoover Section says, I'm hoping for a set with Ace's first travel in the TARDIS. They've done nothing in that season 24 to 25 era.
That's true.
That would be good.
That seems like prime material.
When you look at her in Remembrance, it's definitely early on, but it's definitely not her first trip in the TARDIS. There's been some more in there. There's a gap there that they can squeeze into. Hoovian Small Collection also says, I want Grace back for 8th. If I sacrifice enough people, I can get my wish. I mean, if the people you're sacrificing are Disney's lawyers, then you're in for a shot there. More Hector and Ace. Nobody wants that. I mean, I think that going back to the Hex and Ace stuff worked quite well when you look at Displaced and Muse of Fire.
I enjoyed that. That was some good Big Finish.
And Shadowheart and what's the other World Apart?
Yeah,
I think so. And again, it's like you can give these characters endings, but still keep those characters alive because that's what Big Finish does.
Yeah.
So come on, wrap up Constance and Flip, or just don't be afraid to wrap things up at this point. And it's something that went so much in favor with the 11th Doctor Chronicles. Like the fact that was always planned to be this. Initially 13, it did get extended to 14 episodes, but the fact that it always had an ending in mind for its plot and its characters, that journey, it adds so much more to it than just introducing new companions saying, hey, they're going to be doing adventures with this Doctor now. Don't know for how long, but enjoy. And then it just gets to a point where suddenly we seem to get bored of playing with this new toy, drop them, and introduce another new toy, like I did with Flip and Constance. I need to drop them and introduce Hebe instead, who's now been the latest toy to be dropped.
Yeah.
Big Finish definitely have a problem there with not wanting to end things. And instead they just sort of let them fade away and introduce another new thing and then maybe go back to the old thing at some point. But, we're getting to the point now where we're like, well, what's the point in us getting invested in this new thing if it's not going to go anywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, Starsman says, Big Finish reluctant to end arcs and forgetting they can go back to them can be very frustrating. Hopefully Big Finish learn from the amazing reception to the 11th Doctor and make planned out arcs to interconnect, not too much, but enough to have a plan. Liv and Helen, you need to go, Huns.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they've already sort of given Liv an ending at least. I think it went back to her still, but it's unclear quite what they're going to do with Helen. Liv has been around way too long. Liv's been going for over 10 years now, I think. Yeah, Dark Eyes 2.
Well, do you count Robophobia at this point?
I'd say Dark Eyes 2 because that's where she starts as a companion. That's where her ongoing travels start. I do feel kind of differently about those because they are at least still doing stuff with them. It's not like they've been dropped completely. We are keep going back and forth between them. Bring back Philip Hinchcliffe Presents as far as one. I mean, we back it. We'll despise it when it comes out, but we'll get hyped nevertheless.
That's it. We'll be like, oh, this sounds promising. Then start listening and go, maybe. We live in hope that there'll be another glorious Hinchcliffe story. But yeah, we've gone down that Philip Hinchcliffe rabbit hole.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we recently did Grace of Growlstead, and I mean, I finished Devil's Armada not too long ago. I think you still got a little bit further to go with that.
Still got a little bit, and hopefully we'll do a video of that come Halloween.
Yeah, it has its good moments, that range does. There are times where you listen and you think, God, this is incredible. And then it'll throw something weird at you and you'll be like, why did you have to go do that?
Why did you have to go to Africa?
Oh no, not Africa, as Victoria says. You two and Philip Hinchcliffe Presents the Big Finish equivalent of Marvel fans getting their hopes up only to be disappointed.
That's pretty accurate. Further adventures into the Divergent Universe. I mean, I'm down for more careers because I really enjoyed Battle of Giants Causeway just because it was that trio.
I mean, they've got him back again for Uncharted. I mean, not Careers himself, but Comrade Westmus still.
Yeah.
So there is still interest in using the character. I mean, yeah. think in Divergent Universe, I think it's more likely it'll be like Battle of Giants Causeway, where it's set after the Divergent arc, though. Maybe more Grizz, just so they could keep it accessible.
I mean, I'd quite like more mini beat series like Sontarans versus Rutans.
Yeah, I think they definitely know that's gone down well, so I hope they are planning more like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that that's not what Zygon Century is. More of a spin-off, you know.
But I don't know if that has like the appeal. If you were to put it individually, whether that would have like the selling points of like the Doctors.
Yeah.
Because if you broke up Paladin, would Paladin work as like a Sontarans versus Rutan series? Would we have enjoyed that more?
Yeah,
because I feel like Paladin's the same equivalent to the Zygon box set coming up.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be something returning. It could be its own event.
But then you've got sort of the Big Finish originals for that, though, haven't you? I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty much the new equivalent of what the multi-Doctor trilogies used to be.
Yeah, it's true.
Except now it can involve any Doctors, and is usually going to be 1 hour stories at this point. Yeah. A new miniseries with an underused monster / foe says Trevor Hicks.
I'd be down for that.
Monoid
Yeah. I'd be down for that. Something a little bit quirky. The unsung heroes.
Yeah. It feels more like it leans into time travel. Not necessarily, but I feel like, you know, something like that, a multi-Doctor arc. Just get in that direction a bit more. I'd like a short trip rounding off what happened at the end of the Sarah Jane Smith series. It's been 20 years. I need my cliffhanger resolved. I mean, yeah, that's at least one time we can't blame Big Finish for not finishing something, because the TV series took that away from them. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how much more lenient they are with that, because back then it was, you cannot use Sarah Jane and Elizabeth Sladen for anything now. She's ours. Whereas now, Mel's on TV. She's also everywhere with both 6th and 7th Doctor still.
And she's writing her own book as well. That's out.
Yeah. With dear old Savalon Glitz.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who I'm pretty sure is planned to be the TARDIS, according to an old DWM article, says Stylish One. Ah.
Interesting.
Sarah Jane having a Primeval style unresolved cliffhanger. I mean, I suppose that's sort of closer to the tone of what the Sarah Jane series is, isn't it? It is going a bit more adult.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more ITV to BBC is Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
It's funny that when you look, because now when you think Sarah Jane spin-off, you very much think, oh, it makes perfect sense that it would be a children's TV show. You know, she's that more family-friendly character. She goes around kids solving mysteries. Then you look at the
wrong.
2000s, the wilderness years attitude of Sarah Jane Smith swearing.
Yeah, and it just feels wrong, Sarah swearing. Like, no, isn't Sarah?
Oh. Yeah, it is funny how different these things turn out. I mean, Martha, I think, is, even though she's a Doctor Who companion, she's one who leans more in perhaps the adult direction. Maybe because we did Syrian Torchwood.
Yeah.
It sets that precedent, but yeah. Whereas someone like Donna, I don't think she'd suit a more adult approach.
I mean, Donna swearing would be pretty cool.
But it'd still be more comedy.
Yeah, it'd be comedy.
What's the most frustrating unresolved cliffhanger? A full cliffhanger, not a dropped arc, or full-on unresolved? A full-on unresolved cliffhanger from Big Finish, the Stylish one. I was about to say Legends of Tomorrow just to be quirky there, but you've already specified for Big Finish, so I missed the boat on that one. Full-on cliffhanger from Big Finish. There's a lot more arcs, I feel, than actual cliffhangers they haven't resolved. I mean, a big one that kind of comes to mind is Well-Mannered War, but that's not quite a Big Finish one. It was adapted and they kept it. But
I feel like that was sort of the intention of it. It's like a pastiche full of cliffhangers that you're never going to get the ending for that. I don't know. I mean, there's probably cliffhangers where we've been disappointed with the resolution.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
What was the cliffhanger for Well-Mannered War again? Asked Suvian. Oh, spoilers for those of you who don't know. But
I mean, the book's been out.
Yeah.
Long enough, and the audio's been out nearly 9 years. So,
yeah, to escape the Black Guardian, the Doctor has to use the remove them from reality circuit, whatever it's called, from the mind robber. Yeah, he activates that, and the implication there is that everything in the JNT era onwards is set in the land of fiction. It would be fitting for us to just end the stream now, have it end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that'll be a good way to end it all.
Can you imagine? No, we're not going to be that mean. It's our first one back in.
Yeah.
So long. But yeah, I think the time has come to start wrapping things up now. It's I mean, looping back to our original topic of the stuff of Legend.
Yeah.
Any last memories from that day?
I hope Big Finish do more. Because I think it was a great experience. I think it makes you appreciate what goes into a Big Finish story. Because obviously you have ideas.
Gone into this one.
This is probably like one of the most highly polished Big Finish stories out there. Yeah.
Hopefully, this and Big Finish Day will be regular events. The Stylish one.
I mean, I hope
it won't be at Cadogan Hall Day.
Yeah, I hope that they find, because Cadogan Hall's got this nice sort of grandeur to it. I just don't think it's suited for convention purposes, because it was bad enough trying to buy a program, let alone trying to meet actors and buy other merch.
Yeah. I had quite an ordeal getting home yesterday afterwards. Due to some disruptions at Paddington. If any of you were around there afterwards, you'll know that no trains were running for quite a while. So I didn't get back until around 11:30.
Wow.
And I didn't even live that far from London.
Yeah.
Like, you had much further to go than I did.
Yeah, about 120 odd miles.
But even throughout all that, it didn't dampen my enjoyment of the day. Like, I'm still very much riding that high of listening to that story live, seeing it performed live. I think it holds the same values as the Quatermass experiment live, I feel. They are they were quite similar experiences, but obviously different at the same time, because that was something that was originally TV. But I feel like the way they're a comparable experience in that it's a reading of a script rather than a full-on stage performance. But yeah, and add all the colours and stuff as well. So it was nice to sort of be brought back to that, to have a day like that of going to London. The weather was good for both days as well.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how good it was in London today for it. It certainly was grayer skies here.
It was just rain here today.
Oh.
Miserable. But yeah, I mean, glorious day. Great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, right back at you.
After so long. But yeah, really
We've
good.
got a vlog coming out as well.
Yeah, which we need to film the ending of.
Yeah,
because we got two caught up.
There's only so much time we had to record things. We did get a few little bits in there as well. So
yeah, the tube.
One little short video.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a rush to make sure we were getting back in time. Sadly, we were hoping to sit down and have a meal together,
but yeah, it didn't happen. We didn't get the cheeky Nando's in the end.
It was not today.
But that's next time. That's the next time thing. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, and hopefully see more of you all there as well if you can make it. Yeah, never feel too shy to say hello. We'd love to shake your hand and meet you.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah, I mean, I understand as well for you, Dave, if you're still listening, that time was pressed.
Yeah,
because we were feeling the same pressure of getting back in time.
Yeah, you sort of clock watching, going, "Crikey, I've got this much time to get back."
Yeah, it was a very good day. It's funny that it's all over now.
It's sad that it's over, but yeah, there's something you've been looking forward to. It's kind of like post or concert blues, where you're like, "Oh, it's over now."
Yeah, I mean, especially because it wasn't even that long ago it all went up, wasn't it? It was toward middle of July.
Start of July, because I got the tickets the day of the election.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because that was an instant like, oh, we've got to do this. There was like no discussion there at all, really, was there? It was like,
we're doing this,
aren't we?
Yes, we
are. And that was it. That was all the convincing we needed. Here we are on the other side of it with a few souvenirs to boot.
Yeah. Just got to wait for my CD to turn up. That does look very good in person, that cover.
Yeah, definitely. You can pick out some more details as well, can't you? Yeah, it's a particularly good one from Sean Longmore.
Yeah.
Slash one says, "Thank you for another amazing stream. Looking forward to the next one in December. We'll see if we can get one out before then.
I mean, we'll try and do one in December as well.
There definitely will be like our usual cozy Christmas stream in December. But I mean, with any luck, that won't be the next you hear from us live.
Yeah, we'll scratch our heads and put something together.
We will indeed. But until that does happen, thank you all for joining us for this live stream. We hope you have enjoyed our return to this world.
A little natter about Big Finish. Yeah.
If you did go watch the Stuff of Legend live, we hope you enjoyed that too. Hope you had as good an experience as we did. Because, I think it was just an experience, wasn't it? It's not necessarily about the story. It is about, having fun in that setting, enjoying seeing the actors have fun, enjoying all the Foley effects.
Yeah, that was really good.
Having a good laugh with everyone. Yeah, it all was incredibly wonderful. And I'm glad we didn't miss it.
Yeah, it was a good little treat. Yeah, I mean, if they do another one, get yourselves down there because it's definitely worth it.
Stylish One says, "Take care and see you next stream." Right back at you, Stylish One. Yeah, take care, everyone. We'll see you in a while.
Yeah, see you whenever, but probably for a pre-record. But we'll see you around.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
No,
take care of yourselves and goodbye.